all of our phones start going off, and it's two 8Ks in a row for waiter, and then it's like price alerts are going off. And this is like we're at like an 8 a.m. and we're all sitting there, and we like open up our apps, and we're like, holy fuck, like 200%, 350%, and it's like 300%, 400%, and we're getting ready to take an exam. And I was like, professor, like I have to leave right now.
This is the Market Madness Podcast.
We'll just give it a minute, everybody. Please hang out. We will have Hugh up here in a second. Looks like we have a nice audience building up. All right, I see Hugh's back in. I'm going to send him another invite to speak. Let's see if this one works.
All right. Anyways, guys, while we're waiting for Mitch to figure out how like basic like computer and internet skills worked, obviously the market's heating up again. You're seeing it around literally like right as June, and it's usually sell in May, go away, but now it's buy in May and stay. That's a big thing we're seeing right now. I just you want a little subtle flex out of me. I had my biggest day. It was 48. Yeah. Biggest since the fucking AMC back in January 27th. Super exciting. Just everything is popping off. You're seeing this extremely hot market where we haven't seen it in a while. And right now we're getting Hugh back, and we're going to talk about this soon, but I mean, you saw it today. I think we're going to continue to see it into tomorrow. Hugh, did you kind of notice all the pops we saw today? And just I felt like the relative strength overall was super strong.
Yeah, no.
Fuck. He's lagging for me. He cut out right after he said, yeah, no. But
yeah, he cut out for me too.
Yeah, no, but yeah, I'll continue for him. But yeah, the cool thing about today that I noticed was relative strength around the market. Even though, the past few months you saw things pop, even off of PRs that a few months ago would have sent them going 200% and staying up there, would just be 10 to 20% pop and drops. But now, you're really seeing some impressive like volume stay in it. Like you saw with IVR, with even just Zach calling it today, you saw it just stay up, stay strong all day, hit new highs during the after hours. And I mean, between that and the amount of option plays that people are managing to scalp all over, it's super impressive just to see what else, in the market right now. So if you, especially with sympathies coming back as well, is another thing that I've been extremely happy about. The amount of sympathies that are actually playing off and playing well. You haven't been seeing that the past 12 weeks at all. So just being able to see those happening, you don't miss the first, or you miss the first one, but you can still get a little bit of the next ones.
Absolutely. And I'm chatting with you right now. It looks like for him, it says that he's in the space, but he's not in the space. But I think that, until he gets in, we could continue to chat on this type of stuff. So maybe Dan, you had, like you said, your biggest day yet today. Can you talk about what you were trading?
Yeah, man. So one of my biggest things was shorting Clove. I saw it wasn't responding well to the news I got this morning. And I was thinking maybe it was just a run up into the news, or maybe just the SPACs weren't as hot anymore. I figured it would have been a good dip buy after today, solely because I, figured,
Oh.
yeah, so I figured it would have been a good play just shorting Clove, because I knew it was going to be a good dip buy after the run up yesterday and the day before. And got around half my gains off of that. And then the other bit was just off of the weed plays. And I mean, you saw some weed play options go 200 to 500%, and some were just lagging behind the others with ACB and Zine. So just being able to play those and catch them, even Current. So just being able to play those, and everything just seemed to work out. It was one of those days where it's just everything you touched turned to gold, and couldn't ask for a better day.
What's up, boys?
How are you, man?
Good, man. Good. Sorry, I mean, you know how I am with tech.
Yeah. No, usually before every Penny's Going in Raw episode, we have a good 10 to 15 minutes of him trying to figure out how a computer works, like you're trying to teach your grandmother how to log into her Gmail account. But like whenever before you disconnected, we were talking about like just the relative strength in the market with things that usually would just pop and drop 10 to 20% going 30 to 50% and staying up there. I mean, you saw it on Monday with Alzheimer's plays, and now you're seeing it again with just everything.
Yeah, yeah, no, I mean, we talked about it, but bios have been really hot, and I think they're going to continue to stay hot. I really think that the Russell 2000 is right at like this breakout point. There's some people that think that the Russell 2000 is kind of hitting like a dead cat bounce to where it's going to, it's kind of hitting this resistance point, and it's going to bounce off of that, completely destroying growth. I actually think it's completely opposite, and I think that the Russell 2000 is poised to a breakout to at least, I mean, I would say anywhere between 2,700 to 3,000, which I mean just means that small caps are just going to explode, and the first things that get hit is speculative growth, and that's going to be your small cap bios. And so I actually think that small cap bios are going to continue to go nuts.
Quick question about speculative growth. Is there anything speculative growth besides small cap bios? Is there any other sector that's like you could speculate growth in?
Yeah, of course. I mean, when I think about speculative growth, I mean, you could I mean, this is is the Hugh Henney dictionary, but a lot of people have different definitions.
Whoa! Hold up.
What?
The Hugh Henney dictionary.
Yeah,
You
bro,
have
I'm a good speller.
you have like 80 words in your vocabulary tops.
Yeah. What I was going to say was just that to me, speculative growth is anything that is inside an emerging market or is, I mean, this is again my definition. Like my thing is like anything that's difficult to do. So like what that means to me is Alzheimer's, penny bios, EV plays.
There's no T in Alzheimer's, but
But you know what I'm saying?
would you say the speculative growth changes as technology changes? So like
Yeah.
10 years ago, EVs would have been a speculative growth. Like Tesla could have been a speculative.
They still
Okay.
are. Yeah. I mean, hydrogen, anything. You mentioned hydrogen, anything except water. Don't even start with that. But don't even start with that shit. I don't even want to.
I'm about to Manny Pacquiao your ass.
But I was just gonna say is that anything, any speculative growth, anything, hydrogen, EVs, small cap bios. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head, but small cap emerging markets is really that I think like speculative growth. So when growth gets hit, that's the first thing to go.
Those small cap VRs, virtual reality. Wait till virtual reality stocks, dude. Wait, that'll be big.
Yeah,
NFTs will be a thing of the past.
On, man.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a pleasure having you both on. So if anybody hasn't listened to the dynamic duo that we have been the pleasure of listening to here, they are Dan and Hugh, the hosts of the PGIR podcast, Pennies Going In Raw. You can see their page on Twitter. That is the #1 stock market podcast out there. And they're a great listen on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. I reached out, wanted to have them on. A lot of my listeners were requesting them. It's great to hear the banter that's going on. I'm going to throw a few questions out, but I'm sure we'll freestyle a bit also. So does that sound good to you guys?
Yeah, it's mostly just us fighting over things, but yeah.
That's what the people want. We give them what they want.
Yeah. So I heard you say you had a few questions. Do you want to start there?
Yeah, let's kick it off with a couple questions. And that is, for a lot of people, you have a podcast, right? And they hear, they come on each episode and you're riffing and stuff. But what's the background? How did this all start? How did you get into investing? Started this podcast, creating a content and investing empire. It's your full-time job, work, life. Talk to me about the origin.
Yes. I mean, I think everyone knows Hugh's origin of trading, starting when he's 16, blowing up a few accounts and just making it through the tough times. And, he'd gone through so much at such an early age, and he's still so young at just 22, but now he's gone through the trials and tribulations of the market, and he took those bad times and clearly learned from them. And then there's me, started about, I guess it's about 2 years ago now, and just started learning. And then whenever the COVID market hit, I tried to capitalize the best I could off of it. and I like to connect with all the other big traders. Whether or not it'd be something stupid. The way I connected with Hugh was just me asking him the price target of GHSI over and over, and just trying to Then I realized he was the same age as me. I started just not same age, but similar age. I didn't know he was like 21 whenever I first met him. I thought he was like 24, but I was proven wrong. And he's just so mature for his age.
Oh,
But
I'm blushing.
hey, mute your mic while I'm speaking, son. I don't want to listen to your background noise, boy. You're sitting a podcast. Christian's not editing this out. No, but yeah, I just kept asking him questions, and after a while, I knew that I listened to Gary Vee a lot, and he was always like, "Yeah, you gotta start a podcast. Gotta start a podcast." And I eventually was like, there are podcasts about the stock market, but there's nothing FinTwit about it. There's nothing fun. It's always just old ass fucking. It's like 65-year-old white dudes talking about the stock. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing, and it's always been the same thing in the stock market. And we just wanted to add some fun to it, as you can tell by just pennies going in raw. So we started it. We did around 15 to 17 episodes, and we actually thought about quitting. We took a little break. We did around 5 to 6, 7 more episodes, and then we're like, yeah, we'll do one more, see how it goes. Yeah, episode was a PJ Matlock interview. Went great. We kept it up, and thank God we did, man. And it's just great to see how far we've come.
Yeah.
All right, let's dive into the next one that I have, and that is, first off, great background there, and it's cool to hear that even you, with one of the most successful podcasts, had the struggles there, right? Thought about this might not be working. Then PJ Matlock, obviously, quite the empire himself. All right, Hugh, what is different about your trading style, right? There's a lot of people on here. There's 400, 500 people listening. A lot of them trade. A lot of them day trade. They swing trade, all different types of stuff. Not everybody, is as, successful. Not everybody's taking 50 grand and turning it into $1 million. What's different about your trading style?
Yeah, so that's kind of like my staple is 50 grand to $1 million in 4 months, and it's just my staple because it's really easy to say. If I were to sit here and I can say that in 8 words. I can't say in 8 words that I had a heart condition, that I started with 7 grand. My first trade I made 100% within minutes.
No one cares.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Like I can't say that in 8 words. Like I can say 50 grand to $1 million. So that's why that's kind of my staple. But my trading style really went from trying to day trade to trying to scalp options in like the high school bathroom, like during stats class. And I was like, I was losing like I remember like my moment was losing $700 inside the bathroom during stats class, and that was what I was making like every week, every 2 weeks, and that was like working 3 jobs. I was like busting my ass, and I had lost it in milliseconds on options inside the bathroom. And I was like, okay, like I can't do this. Like if I do this like 5 more times, like I'll be broke. So that's when I was like, I really have to switch it up. I really have to, I really have to do it so that it fits my schedule, which at that time was high school. So that's when I started diving into really DD and Catalyst, and I'm just not like I can't take 100 or even at the time like a $200 loss on a day trade and be okay with it. Or like now, like I can't like right now I can't take like a 10% hit on my overall account and be like okay with it. Like that'll keep me up at night. But with swings, it was easier because I knew the end goal. I knew that I was waiting for something. Where I feel like I have an edge when I'm trading it for a catalyst that I know isn't priced in. So I mean, obviously, like the biggest thing with like a catalyst is it priced in or not? But at least if I can at this point, if I can understand, what the market cap is, what the catalyst is, and how the catalyst will affect the pricing. So for instance, like I don't play every PDUFA, but some PDUFAs are like there's a need in the market. So I'll look at those a little bit harder than I will something that is going into a saturated market. So that's what I mean, is that it's kind of like it's based on the catalyst, but it's also based on the market or the industry that catalyst is in. And that's really where I started to find my niche. And that's where my account went from straight losing money for 2 years to be hitting like my first big trade and being like, oh yeah, because during classes I could add on flushes, or if it was up big, then I could cut some and lock profit. But then in the same token, I wasn't running to the bathroom during stats class to try and make a few bucks.
Yeah,
and ended up, like, losing.
No. I want to hear
What?
the story of what was the was it waiter? Wait, wasn't it
Yeah.
waiter during the exam?
Yeah.
Oh, and I did get Tommy in here. I do want like a 5-minute Tommy segment. So Wolf, after at 8:20 Eastern time, we allow Tommy to join.
Oh
Dude,
shoot.
not Tommy.
No,
All
fucking
right,
damn.
well-
Tommy, mute till 8:20. Okay, but
All
yeah,
right.
I want to hear the waiter story. Tell me the waiter story.
Yeah. So WTRH, I had like 70% of my account in it. I guess it was. Oh my God, that was last year. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
it
2 years
was
ago.
around February, March of
Yeah.
no, it was February or March of last year.
That's right. Yeah. And so I was taking a class with like this 80-year-old professor. Like his name is on the business building at my school. And all of a sudden, like at this time, like my friends were all starting to trade, and so we're all inside this classroom. And waiter, I was waiting for waiter for like 5-6 weeks, and I was waiting for this news. I was waiting for like all
Just
this, I had, like,
accumulating it from like 50 to 35 cents.
Yeah. And I was just accumulating in mass size. And I think I had like 65-70% of my portfolio in there. And I
Of
even
the
had
average
options.
of your portfolio.
Well, yeah. I mean, I was holding like I was holding a good amount, and all of a sudden, like all of our phones start going off, and it's 2 8Ks in a row for waiter, and then it's like price alerts are going off, and this is like we're like in 8 a.m. and we're all sitting there, and we like open up our apps, and we're like, holy fuck, like 200%, 350%, and it's like 300%, 400%, and we're getting ready to take an exam. And I was like, professor, like I have to leave right now. Like I have to. And he's like, what? Yeah. And he's like, he's telling me, he's like, what's the matter? Like, is there like an emergency? And I was like, no, I'm just fucking rich.
Yeah,
now.
dude, Hugh was having his first fucking period. He had to go to the bathroom.
I was like, professor, like I need to leave right now. Like I'm up a stupid amount of money. Like this is what I make every quarter, and I'm up it this morning. And he was like, no. And one of my friends blurted out like, like he's up like almost like 6-7 figures on this trade. And he was like, you open up your phone right now and you show me that, and I'll let you skip the exam. And I mean, I had to take it at a different time, and so I opened up my phone and I showed him. And he was like, his jaw just dropped, and he let the 6 of us or 5 of us go, and we ran home and we traded waiter for the morning, and then I still ended up failing the test, but yeah, so that was a cool experience because I was like, listen, like,
So it just goes to show, fuck college, get your fucking bands up.
I mean, I told him that either way I was going to leave. Like I wasn't going to just sit there and take.
Yeah, a full year's tuition is not worth failing one class. But it's Tommy Cooperman.
Oh wow, what an intro!
Yeah.
Dude, you had a pretty killer day.
Yeah, I did.
But he fucked up one time.
I did.
Yeah.
I had one fuck up, which got me for like 30K. So what would have been my biggest day by far would have been like a 6-figure day. Ended.
But
not
you
as
lost
a 6-figure day.
30 grand on one trade.
Dude, you
32
lost a
on trade.
half American average yearly salary.
No,
on
that's
trade.
not
no
average.
changes.
That's not average.
Bro.
That's not average. That's the full American salary.
Dude, that's
this
embarrassing. Are you
this
embarrassed?
motherfucker, he changes that statement every time I say something. I'm like, yo, dude, I went to Starbucks.
Because
I
he
got
has
a latte. He's like, that's an average American hour salary that you just spent.
Dude,
on
that's
that
embarrassing.
latte.
Hugh has no idea about a regular person's monetary value. He's like,
No.
dude, whenever he first started getting ad offers for the podcast, they're like, yeah, $400 for a 30-second ad. I'm like, yes. He's like, dude, we're way more than that. I'm like, you don't have to say a damn word. I'll say the whole damn ad.
Dude, $400, dude. What am I like, dude? I'm not some cheap,
Yeah. You say that shit, but then it's like, hey, will you get me this? You're like, what am I, Warren Buffett?
Exactly.
Dude, because you want me to buy like $1,000 or like a $15,000 watch, like I'm fucking like Rockefeller.
You have two.
Yeah, but that's an
You
appreciating
have
asset.
two. Oh.
All right, well, let's.
But
I
I'm
mean,
glad
we
you
brought
did.
Tommy on. Tommy, I'd love to kind of give you the floor for a couple minutes to chat, maybe talk about what you were trading today. I want to start to get into the nitty gritty things with you guys.
Yeah, let's see. I literally just wrote a list of what I traded today. Hold on. Let's see. Let me give you the rundown. I traded Solo. I traded Wish. I traded IVR. I traded Skills, SKLZ. I traded ACB. I traded Zine. My biggest loss today was AEMD for $29,126.
Talk to me about the skills, not the skills in the Wish trading. What were you doing on those?
Yeah, so Wish yesterday, we traded it yesterday, and it went absolutely insane. It like got added to the Wall Street Bets thing, and it just started picking up steam yesterday. And then today, it was down a lot. It was actually a super nice dip. I think Zach pointed it out in Atlas, and I was like, oh, it is low right now. And even after, usually when Zach like alerts something, it like goes up right away, but he alerted it and it chilled there for like a minute. And I was like, oh, I'm going to grab this. So I just grabbed it off that just because yesterday's sentiment was so good. And today it was just down on a dip, and then it started picking up steam. And yeah, it ended really well.
Dude,
And then
Wish.com,
my biggest one were Zine and ACB.
the ads.
I don't even know what it is.
No, it's
Oh,
context logic.
You don't know what Wish.com is, Tommy?
Dude, weren't they like
you got it?
deporting
No,
kids or
dude.
something?
Okay, no. Oh my God, no. Number one,
See,
they're
I'm not huge. I'm not
the
huge. I
sponsor.
don't do DD.
They're the sponsors of the LA Lakers.
Oh, and Dan Brazilian's house.
And they're like, they do like super cheap shit. And they're the ads you see on Facebook all the time. Tommy, I guess you're too rich to see them. But it's from someone, as someone from like the poorest like zip code in America, I see them all the time. They love to give me Wish.com ads.
Dude, I swear, when I traded it yesterday, this is going to sound insane. When I traded it yesterday, I asked somebody if it was the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
No.
And I wasn't joking.
No.
Yeah, right as everyone's like, wow, Dan's being super offensive in this live stream. It's like, wow, Tommy's making fun of Make-A-Wish.
That's not offensive. That's just what I thought it was. How's that offensive?
Thank God Wolf's on here and Hugh, the brains of the operation. Shit.
Yeah. I mean, people have scanners. I just text Hugh. I'm like, what's Wish? There's a lot of volume. I'm going to
Yeah, dude, Wish.com is just like extremely off-brand stuff.
I got a question for another stock for either Dan or Hugh. I know you guys have talked about this a few times on the podcast, and that's Vissel, VISL.
Oh,
We've talked about it. Come on, hit me with some Vissel because I was looking at the options today.
Nose goes.
When is it going to die?
Stop it.
Just
Okay,
going to go away?
listen. First off, they're a New Jersey-based company. Therefore, it should already be at like $1 billion market cap. Okay. Secondly,
The armpit of America.
Yeah, straight up. Just we could just get rid of New Jersey. I'm just saying.
Listen, okay. We talked about it earlier, but speculative growth gets hit the hardest and gets hit the hardest first. And when I'm, as we talked about earlier, the emerging markets that I think about, Vissel's in there. Okay, they're a technology. I think they're working on like they have a 4K camera. They're working on an 8K camera. They're going to get hit the hardest, and so they did. And I think I finally went green on it today. But for me, Vissel isn't a trade; it's an investment. Simply because I think the market cap is just too low. They bought an entirely new management, a management who has gone into other companies, who has fixed the other companies, built them up, got them to 16, 18, sold them for 16, 18 EBITDA, and has just destroyed it. So when I talked to the CEO, Mickey Miller, he told me that they cut dead weight. They had reduced their
name Mickey Miller sounds like a fucking scam artist.
Listen, they cut their operating expense by 40%. And what I'm excited about is this next earnings report. This next earnings report should show some serious growth. So they cut the operating expense last quarter. They did a $50 million raise. They acquired a company like Q4 of last year. And so now I'm looking like this is the quarter that they should have a knockout year. A knockout quarter, excuse me. And so, I hate to admit when I'm wrong, but if this quarter shows absolutely no growth, then I will start to rethink my position. But based on what I know right now,
By rethink his position, he means sell it all. By the way, just don't get it twisted.
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. Because it depends. Like I'm expecting a knockout revenue, I'm expecting knockout across the board. So therefore, if they don't hit my expectations, then I'm gonna have to sit there and I'm gonna have to say to myself, okay, I was expecting I'm literally expecting 300% growth in revenue. I'm expecting operating expense to go down even further, and I'm expecting just a knockout quarter. And so if they don't have a knockout quarter, if they have a flat quarter, then I'll definitely be done with it.
And after earnings report, if you see a 400,000 red candle, you know that he's not gonna pump it anymore.
Dude,
Mickey Mantle's gonna be pissed.
Dude,
Stan and Mickey Mouse are gonna have a fucking personal meeting, and
listen, I just went green on this motherfucker. If they have a flat quarter, I swear to God, they're only 40 minutes from me. I'll show up at their front door. The number one class of 2017 linebacker is gonna pull up. Yeah, you act like you're like 109 pounds, all right?
Dude, look, we all sent each other our weights the other day, man. I know I'm the smallest, but at the same time, my weight isn't in front of a football recruiting website.
Dude,
my height and weight does not say middle linebacker behind it, okay?
So for anyone that doesn't know, we were inside the New York Times. We had 2 sentences in there, but anyway, we let them dox stuff. We let them dox us, whatever. And I called the company that it's literally almost 10 years old at this point, and I called them and I was like, hey, can you please take this off your website? It's 10 years old.
They didn't, and now Q is the number one football recruit visited site in all of New Jersey for this recruiting season, especially for the class of 2017. They haven't seen someone like this since Jadeveon Clowney. It's insane.
I did get an email that my viewership has spiked 10,000%. Last month.
Just a quick question, Mitch. Why did you decide to go into trading instead of just going pro?
That's a good question.
The contract wasn't big enough. They only offered me $40 million for 2 years, and I told them they at least got to get to 50. And apparently, they offered.
Tommy, my excuse is my leg injury. I would have taken that.
I'm seeing
No, you would have. I know you would have been on the floor, bro.
I'm seeing the parallels.
No
the parallels between Hugh's contract for football offering and the contract offering for the podcast sponsorship. Just never enough.
But he thinks that Vissel is his way onto the field. He thinks the drone's filming the.
He thinks he's gonna be flying those 60-yard runs, 12 feet off the ground with little drones on his feet.
You act like I honestly should have just been a wide receiver. I was so freaking quick out there. I was juking everybody out.
Man's got a motor.
Yeah,
no.
Dude. They used to call me, White D-Jack. That's what they used to call me on the field.
Who's the not white B-Jack?
that was Mark.
Who's
Granberry.
the brown? Who's the brown?
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
No. In all seriousness, that's all I really cared about. At the time, I was I'm gonna grow. 5'9", 5'10".
Yeah, dude, I just gave up on growing around a couple weeks. I guess 5'8" where we draw the line, huh?
Yeah.
And any girls in here, 5'8" average. So.
Wolf, what's your next question?
All right, I want to keep some stuff rolling. So that is, for the people in here that are seeking to do more trading. I think we'll go down the line, just Dan, Hugh, Tommy. Walk me through like 2 to 3 minutes on your process, right? I know that you guys sometimes mix fundamentals, technicals. What technicals are you using? What are you looking at, right? You get an alert. You're like, all right, my boy's buying this. Put this on my radar. What's your process before you initiate that order?
Yeah, so I guess me starting, obviously there's going to be a different one for each. If someone alerts something that I want, I wait for it to dip. There's some people whose plays get heavily shorted after they call them, which means you can get a good dip after they call them, which is usually a lot lower from where they called them, which is something I like to watch for. You just have to find out who those people are. And at the same time, just for the daily process of what I like to trade around a core position of some shorter term swings, and mainly just trading around positions. And once you learn our personality of a stock, I mean, it's just trading that personality.
Cool. What about you, Hugh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was trying to think of this, like the best way to do this. I guess for where I've made a majority of my net worth has been from doing swing plays. And at this point, when I was younger in my career, I would just dig into companies' filings for hours on end and end up sometimes sleeping at the desk. Now at this point, I have like a massive filing cabinet and I have sticky notes everywhere on different companies. So now it's more like I have like a basic knowledge of most companies that I at least like to trade. And then when they come out with press releases, I just add that to the DD and I just add that to the entire company. Instead of going through, like sometimes it's like 150 different filings, like a 10K usually has like 130 pages. And most of that is nonsense. I use like the analogy of, it's kind of like finding like a needle in a haystack. You're given as a trader, you're given so much knowledge, and it's not about all of that knowledge. It's about, honestly, sometimes it comes down to 1 or 2 sentences. Like WTRH, I was basically banking 60% of my portfolio on Furtado, the Rockets owner. He said that he was in like one paragraph. He said that he was reorganizing, that they were going to be profitable. And then he went into a little bit about the business plan. So I was basically banking on 60% of at that time my net worth on this one guy reorganizing the company. Now I don't do that because I would just be stupid. But at that time, that's kind of that's how I was. I was trying to make it work.
Yeah, but now we got him into day trading and options. We got day trader Hugh out this bitch cut.
Yeah.
Day trader Hugh up in this.
Yeah, but I like my naps. You guys don't give me like a break. Like I like an hour break or like in the middle
We
of
got
the day.
Dave in this bitch. Yo, what's up, Dave?
Take like a little nap, like get a little siesta fiesta. Like that's kind of my thing.
Oh my
dude, I like to take a good tiger snooze, but only if the market's not hot. Right now, the market's too hot to take a tiger snooze during the day. I can't even take a little cub napper.
Dude, I'm like
I
I'm
can't
ready
even
to
go
go
to
to
the
bed
bathroom.
by like 6 p.m. now. Like I'm falling asleep like standing up.
Yeah.
Just because I'm not getting naps, and so it's a real shame. But yeah, just basically, if you're gonna do like DD swings, especially like I know a lot of biotech guys and a lot of guys who like if you have a company that puts out tons of PRs, then you're not gonna sit there and go through 300 PRs. So the best thing to do is that sit down as companies start to PR. Just start taking notes on the different companies and what they PR, and then you can kind of like weed out. Like for instance, like DPW is a holding company. I don't know much about it, but I know that every time that there's like a hot sector, for like when crypto was hot, they would release a PR.
Now he's just not even letting you talk.
He just won't.
Like I
let
would
me
like,
talk about
dude.
mine.
Yeah,
nobody
no,
cares
I would
about
let
your
you.
process. You're a rich
Why?
DJ.
Why does
you could blow up
rich
your account
DJ,
and it
that's
won't matter.
why. Okay.
You're a rich DJ.
Okay,
You
all
could
right.
blow
No,
up.
it's all
and it
good.
won't
Tommy,
matter.
does he?
I could release the text. I can release the text of you asking me for advice on volume trading. But it's all good. It's fine. I won't.
Dude, I mean, I can't
I
help
won't
it.
do
You're a
it.
skilled
Hashtag
trader.
release
I
the
won't hurt your
text.
brand like
You're
that.
a skilled
Tommy,
trader.
I'd actually love to know your process because I mean, obviously we heard enough about
Wow,
Hugh
thank
in
you.
the past 35 minutes.
Dude, you're
of
just
him.
jealous that I'm the favorite host of the podcast. Everybody comes for my comedy.
That's so far from the truth.
Everybody comes for my
That's so-
comedy.
That's so.
Tommy,
Oh, that's so far
okay,
from the truth.
Dude, do you want to just like go like make out in the bathroom?
Everybody,
Yeah, I mean,
dude,
you know.
everybody comes for my comedy. All right, they all know that like I'm the funny one.
All right, cool, man.
They're coming from the middle.
Next one.
They're coming from the middle linebacker page. They're getting rerouted.
Yeah, that's where all the listens are coming from.
But yeah, Tommy, man, obviously you've been trading for a while. Today was another big day. You had a big loss today, and I'm sure you don't want to talk about it, but I think guiding others through your losses would really help them avoid the same trauma. Would you care to touch on that?
Yeah, so I don't know about that loss specifically, right? But I am a volume and a news trader. I wake up every single morning. I have no idea what I'm going to be trading
Sexy.
at all. Like, not even kind of. I wake up, I see what the top gainers are in the morning, and then I start looking at why they're the top gainers of the morning. My favorite thing to find, and this isn't every day, is the one play that everybody missed that had awesome news, whether it's FDA approval or, you know, some big breakthrough. And I like the ones that nobody has really caught. It might be a pre-market mover, but it hasn't moved as much as it should. Those are my favorite because then we can get in them before the rest of the market finds them. And then, you know, when market makers and stuff like that find them, they start running them up, and we basically bank on the fact that they missed the news. Yeah, you know, it's super hot. But yeah, that's I'm a volume trader. So if the volume is there and the setup is there and things have pulled back to a support, then I trade, you know, within a range of support and resistance. And that's
so
pretty much
how
it for
did
me.
you
My
fuck
trading
up the
is
trade today?
because it was on support.
Is that your
and volume
biggest
was
loss?
rolling
Is that your
in,
biggest
but
loss?
it decided. No, my biggest loss is like 35, 36.
But it's close.
Yeah,
I was surprised to hear it from you today. That's why I genuinely asked you.
I was surprised.
Yeah, that's why I was like, you know, is it $1 million today? And you were like, you know, you got a little douchey and you're like, oh no, you win $1 million today? And I was like, okay, Tommy.
Yeah, it was a perfect setup. It was set up well. Volume was rolling in. It did spike. I went from like up 10K on it in like a matter of seconds. It just got stuffed when it spiked and it knifed on me. It ended up coming back, which is the part that pisses me off the most, is that if I would have just averaged down,
fucking
I
worst.
could have gotten out of it.
Fucking worst.
Yeah, that's the worst. But I cut it. Still ended up with a really, really green day. But yeah,
what would you recommend to the new people? Just cut it and don't even fucking look at it ever again?
Yeah, cut it, because more times than not, it isn't going to come back to your average. There are going to be those times where you're like, if I would have just thrown my whole account into it, I could have gotten out like at even. Yeah, that does happen sometimes, but if you follow the rules on every single trade and cut it when you think you should cut it, you're going to end up being more consistent than if you were to just throw your whole account into it every single time to average down just to get out even. Those things do work sometimes, but in the long run, if you just follow your rules, you're going to end up being more green more than you are red.
Absolutely. Real quick, if anybody's in the audience listening, over 600 people, the people who are up here speaking really are just an easy auto follow. Go ahead and check them out. Check out the PGR podcast. Really, I know that people are worried about, their follow ratio and everything. Well, these guys are worth it. Check out Hugh, Dan, and Tommy. Especially if you're in this world of investing, they're going to be giving you a lot of content. Not financial advice. They're going to be giving you some stuff to think about, some things to roll around in your head, different perspectives. They bring on some really great guests as well. They had Yates Investing. They had Douglas Boneparth on their podcast, so I had on my podcast this week. Just dropped that episode today.
Yeah, we love Doug.
Hey, Wolf. Two things. One, I love Doug Bonaparte. Two,
me too.
Just because I said 8:45 earlier, that's because I didn't know how much fun I'd be having, and I might be down for more time.
Well, I want to keep you on for sure as long as I can. Hugh, you still 8:45?
Let me see.
Ask your question, Wolf. Fuck it.
All right, I'm rolling into my next question because I was saying, how great you guys are, right? So who is your inspiration, right? Who are you looking at on a daily and you're saying, I want to follow them for advice, for tips? Who should the audience in here be going to their page and checking them out?
Okay, so for me, it's If you want to learn more about swing trading, I think the Momo voice chat and Atlas is super, super helpful for following. Obviously, Zach Morris. But aside from him, for advice on like charting and stuff, I think SD Hillen, SDHILLON7 SD. You can find me like conversing with him. Conversing rather. Him and if that's what you're looking for, is to learn more on how to day trade and read charts and volume and everything. I think Momo Chat and those are definitely going to be the best. Try you.
Go ahead, Tom. Oh, is Tommy not on here anymore?
No, I'm on here. Yeah, no, for me it's the same. Yeah, I mean, we all follow the same people. We kind of have like a big group of people. We like turn to each other and stuff. So yeah, for me it's the same. Like Zach is probably the best.
I genuinely think I've been thinking this for a while. And Wolf, by the way, Gary's listening. You should let him as a speaker if he wants to be here.
Which one?
Oh, Gary Mystic Mac. He just moved to Tennessee.
No, but what I was about to say, I genuinely think Zach may be the greatest retail trader of all time.
Yeah, I don't think you could argue.
But I mean, like, if you talk about others, like even like the best traders of all time before they made their hedge fund, like he's doing way better.
Yeah,
I mean, it's genuinely crazy. Like if you listen to this podcast, he said he had what $30,000 2 years ago. He's over $100 million now. Like,
I think the thing about Zach that's so impressive is that he is, and I think all of us are kind of this way, other than Q. I think Q is like a genius and likes looking at DD and all this stuff. So listen, I'm just saying, like, not a lot of people want to do that. But when you look at somebody like Zach or like Gary or Dan or myself, it's like we figured out how to do it in our own way. Where like if you talk to Zach, like he doesn't chart stuff out. He doesn't do a lot of DD. He literally finds stuff that he gets a gut feeling about.
Dude, I swear.
He literally just says,
yes,
it's cheap. This is cheap to me. It should be
more expensive than this. Think
I'm going to buy it.
He has the limitless pill. Like, I remember whenever in Houston the first time, Ross was like, I think he has the limitless pill. Just because he said things that would probably happen and it happened. But it's like the same thing. It's like hotel plays are going to open back up. This was $2. And sure shit, it's $7 now.
Exactly. Like that to me, it's something that I think we've all kind of developed. Gary, myself, Hugh, Zach,
Dan,
PJ, Dan. It's something that like you get from doing it so long, and it's something that I think people can aspire to because it's like you don't have to sit there and look through filings forever. That does help if you want to be that kind of trader. But if you develop this like sense of like, okay, hotels are opening back up. These are the plays. This one's the cheapest. This one's been missed. I'm gonna grab this.
Dude, and one thing that I think
Zach is like really good at.
Oh, dude, and yes, and no, not to short anything at Zach, but one person I think is fantastic at it. If you're looking at if the world gets attacked by fucking aliens, if it's attacked by a pandemic, or if America is attacked by atomic bombs, buy, sell, short has been through it all. I'm blocked by buy, sell, short, and I will still speak his highest praise when it comes to source to it. Like he knew.
How much does he pay you to shout him?
$20,000 a month, and so he, just like I remember whenever coronavirus was starting, I was in his room, and I learned so much of just like the things he was saying, the things he was like, hey, this is the exact same rotation that happened whenever SARS happened, and it's crazy to think about. Like, if another pandemic happens in 2034 and we're all still trading, we'll know IBIO, we'll know waiter, we'll know the fucking food deliveries, we'll know the band, we'll turn that pandemic into another pandemic, and that's fact.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing I try to tell people so much for like people that are listening that are just starting to trade or whatever. It really is about like you do it so much and you look at everybody calling so many things and you
wait,
Tommy.
That like Tommy. I think we have the best guest of all time available.
Who is it?
Who are we bringing up?
Hugh Henney's mom.
Oh no.
Oh
no,
shit!
no,
what?
no, no.
EQ Henny's mom.
Can she request?
No, I don't know if mom will know how to do that.
Yeah,
because
hey,
Mom,
Hugh,
Gary, Gary,
Hugh, don't worry. My mom comes on these all the time. Don't feel alone.
oh, I think she left.
No!
That's a real shame. I was really hoping to get her on.
Tommy, sorry
What was
to
that?
interrupt you.
All
But-
good. No, I was saying like it's something that like you'll just get it, man. Like right now, if everything closes down, all of us we know like immediately what food delivery stocks to buy. If there's hurricanes, we already know like what like energy stocks to buy and what it's just something
That
comes
extra
with
yes,
doing it so
yes,
much.
that fifth nature, that
And nobody can teach you
second
that.
nature,
Like
yeah.
so many people hit us up all the time. What scanner are you using? What EMA are you on? It's like that shit's cool and that helps your strategy. But when you do this for a year, 2 years, and you start just knowing every single ticker like the back of your hand, and it's what Hugh was saying. He used to have Post-it notes and all this stuff. Now he just knows them. And that just comes from doing it. So if you're starting to trade, like you just need to trade. Like trade every day, watch it, paper trade if you have to.
fact.
And by a year in,
You're gonna know
gonna
it.
be like,
You're gonna
dude,
know
I
every
know,
sector.
I know exactly what to slap
And
when
dude,
when
and
a world
it's
event
just
happens.
exactly
I
the
know
same
what
as
to do.
studying for fucking college or high school. Fucking have the notes, man. You gotta know exactly which sectors are. If weed's running, you gotta know it's ACB, fucking TLRY, SNDL, Zion.
Current.
Yeah, current. Exactly. You gotta know it. If it's defense stocks, you gotta know it's DGLY, it's Bissell, it's fucking Riot. You know, you gotta be on top of it all
Dude, you
the
sound like a
time.
real trader.
And speaking of you, bitch boy, you have to leave. You said 8:45 is your time. I'm a rock this bitch till 9 o'clock.
No, you know what?
Eastern.
Maybe I'll stay
We
till
should bring
9:30.
Gary in.
You know,
Bring
maybe
Gary in. Yeah.
Gary,
Yeah,
you gotta
bring Gary in.
Gary, request the
Can
time.
he request?
Yeah, we'll bring
Gary
Gary in.
request.
Yeah, Gary, request the
He
time.
just moved to
hey,
Nashville.
We're gonna kick you out. Bring Gary
do, and if you have a question you want for it, tweet it and hashtag PGIR, and we'll answer it. Hashtag PGIR.
Tag us in it. I'm happy to. I got some people. People will like send me a message and they'll be like, "Hey, I have a question," but then they won't tell me what the question is. So if you have a question, just say the question in your tag or in whatever you're putting out. But definitely, sorry,
Hey,
Dan, to interrupt.
Can we have a little commercial break? Can you allow Emo Sellout to be a speaker? I have a question.
Yeah,
for him.
absolutely. When you said commercial break, I thought we were about to get the Benzinga pitch.
No. Well,
Yeah, me
no,
too.
no.
It's all right.
This is like
I
fun-
love Benzinga. I'm all about them.
Yeah, Dave, come through. If you'll.
Schmitty.
Yeah, we gotta get Dave and
Schmitty.
I want like this is a rock star question. You guys are about to get like a question from someone who's been rocking it live for fucking 15 years straight.
What am I?
Hey, chill out, bro.
I don't know, like 12 years?
Wow. Okay.
I sent him the request.
Tommy,
Guy-
do you want it?
Guy becomes a
Tommy,
professional
do you
trader.
want to be here as a trader or a fucking international celebrity? Take your pick.
Both, dude. Gary said he requested if you want to accept him.
I don't know why it's not showing up for me. Yeah, it could be something on my end, to be honest. What's the? Can you send me his username?
It's
I'll send
Mystic
him,
Mac.
Actually, hey,
Yeah, Gary Mystic
Wolf.
Mac.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of offending certain kind of people. There was a tweet that one person who's a woman, so you can narrow it down, tweeted to offend a certain type of people. Do you know which one I'm speaking of?
A person who was a woman tweeted something to offend a certain type of people.
Oh,
Yes.
God. Why are you bringing her up?
What? I
Why
don't know.
Don't give her the clout,
Who?
bro. Don't give
Who
her
are you
the
talking
clout.
about?
Oprah.
Oh, no. I was talking about Rachel Ray. She understood how some people felt in some environments where she
So
definitely
is it
didn't
at Mystic Mac?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's at Realtor.
No. It's at Notorious Alerts.
Okay. All right. Notorious
Notorious
alerts. Yeah. All right. I'll send an invite now.
For
I
anyone that
thought I
doesn't
didn't
know
know where you were
Gary,
going with that. I shot Gary an invite, so
yeah,
let me know. Hopefully that works for him.
for anyone that doesn't know Gary effectively turned like $500 into like 5 million in
There
like
he is. He's up here.
It's got to be more than 5.
yeah. I mean, I just used 5, but
Yeah, and not to mention he's hot as fuck.
Yo,
yo
Yeah,
dog,
shit. What a good looking
yo,
guy.
dog.
There he
yo
is.
dog, how's Tennessee?
Oh, and he was.
Yo, Tennessee's
and
great.
He fought MMA. He fought MMA before trading.
Yeah, I interviewed with a TV show yesterday,
His
and I gave him
dick's
Gary.
Yo, so how about today, boys?
Yeah, today was a good day. You had a killer day too, right? 130 or
Today-
something.
Gary, I'm rich. Gary, I'm fucking rich now.
I see that, boy.
Hey, Gary, how you did like 130 today, right?
145 actually.
Yeah, baby. I didn't even. Yeah, that's a good day, man. That's awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. Plus, I still got hotspot internet. They hook up my Wi-Fi tomorrow.
Okay, sick. What do you call it? So
Off the hot
yeah.
spot.
So you just
Yeah.
moved in. I mean, your spot is nice. The way that the housing market is right now, Gary has the same square footage apartment as me, and I pay double his rent. And his is
To live in Jersey.
well, I mean that's what
That's the worst.
Yeah, you got to get out of Jersey.
yeah.
Yeah, you got to get out of Jersey.
Yeah, maybe I'll come live in Tennessee with you, Gary.
Dude,
you got that
Tennessee
spare
would love
bedroom.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, dude.
Fit-
So I was
fit
saying
right in.
before you got on that that you effectively turned $500 into five million in like a year and a half.
5 billion.
Yeah.
5 billion.
Yeah, 5 billion. Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. And I mean, my trading is our trading styles are way different. I mean, you trade sometimes like 10 different things where I won't trade that in a month. But I mean, it's awesome that, I feel like you really did it right because it's not easy to scale your starters or even scale position sizes, especially when you're trading that many things. I mean, it's not easy to scale your position. So, I mean, maybe talk about how you did that because, like, I want to say when you even go from $500 to 10 grand, I mean, your position size has to be larger to make 4.5 or 4.99995 in a year and a half. Can you kind of walk us through how you did that?
Yeah, so I mean, my philosophy it's never changed. I believe in going in like really heavy on pretty much any trade that I'm doing because I just feel like I'm wasting my time if I'm not going heavy, and that's what has allowed me to make this much money so quickly. Because as my account gets bigger, in my mind, I'm like, well, if I have this big account now and I'm not using the money in the account, what's it matter if I have a 5 million account or a 500 account?
So
So
when you would do like a 10% day on your account, were you growing your starter 10%, or it was just like fuck it, I'll take 1,000 shares no matter if it's $2 or 20?
yeah, it was like I would take ever how many shares that I could afford.
Okay, so it wasn't like you had more of like a systematic approach. It was more like all kind of like touch and feel.
Yeah, it was like whatever my account balance is, that's how much I buy of it. Like if I have 5,000 in my account, I'll buy ever how many shares of the stock $5,000 will get me.
So what happens when it dips? Are you going on margin? Or you yeah.
Well, like now, I mean, with my account, like I can't go all in anymore. I mean, like there's just no way I can buy that many shares with the lower float stocks. So now, like on dips, I buy up every single dip. So I mean, I love dips.
I have a little question.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say you're held to gunpoint. You have to swing trade for a year. You have to ask Hugh Henney 3 questions to guarantee your success. What are you asking the successful swing trader?
Oh, this is good. I got a good one too.
Number one.
So this isn't put me on the spot night.
Number one is how many naps.
Did you just call me by my last
take?
name?
No.
Yeah, how many naps?
Yeah, number one is how many naps a day I have to take. Number 2 is how do I best trick out my LinkedIn profile. And number 3 is
What's the best way to address the CEOs via email?
Yes, that's number
Yeah,
3.
seriously.
Well,
Q, how many emails do you have? How many fake email accounts do you have to write?
Mr. Douglas
If you just had to
Henney
guess.
447
Yeah.
at gmail.com.
yeah, now I have.
And that's followed by 446 other Mr. Douglas.
What do you call it? Now I really just use like 2 or 3. At one time I had like almost 7. Like I had like 7 in rotation. And at that time I was like, oh, like let me act like I'm Tom John, or like I'm like Mr. Wilson, like I had like Mr. Wilson.
Mr.
You were
Wilson.
catfishing. You were catfishing
Yeah.
CEOs.
Oh yeah, because it was like, because I didn't, because I would listen to their videos, but sometimes like you don't know their vibe. So there's some CEOs where they're just like they're all business, and so they're not going to take like 16-year-old Hugh Henney for like they're just going to be like, get the fuck out of my office. So then I would be Mr. Wilson, who's like a 60-year-old investor who has like 2% of his company and will fuck shit up if he fucks him with an offering. But then there's sometimes where it's like
Right.
the CEO was super chill and he was cool, and you could just like cold email. So then I would be like, Hugh Henney, the 16-year-old, like, hey, like I'm doing like a project for school, like I would love to learn a little bit more about your company, and it was like, and then I would hop on a phone call with them, and then yeah, I mean there was like there was a few instances where I got caught because of spelling. Because there was a few times where I got so pissed that like the investor relations wasn't answering me back, and I had a few beers one night, and I basically took like 3 of my friends were just sitting around like drinking a few beers, and so between all of our email accounts, I mean I had 7, they had 2, and we were just emailing everybody from the company, like anybody's email that I could find. We were emailing them the same exact email, like, hello, my name is blah, blah. Like, I've had serious questions. Like, what's your cash position? Like, I saw inside a recent filing this, like, and I got like 40 emails that day. Like, are you the same one that emailed? Like we all sit in like cubicles next to each other. Like, we all got the same email. So, I mean, it's interesting, but,
Yeah, they're like, this is a penny stock, sir. The offices are in our garage. We all sit next to each other.
The HR, the investor relations, the secretary, they're all the same person.
One guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
No, so I really think
This is great. Me, you, Tommy, and Gary. This is how we should do our Wednesday episodes instead of having to worry about interviewing someone. We can have our interviews just back up Sunday episodes.
Yeah.
just live.
You love to see it.
And record them.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah.
So I mean that's
Happy
pretty
to help. Also, we're
Hey, you motherfuckers! Wolf wants to talk, and this is his fucking live stream. You guys let him fucking speak right now. Wolf, go ahead, sweetheart.
Dan, you have my heart and my soul. Just wanted to say happy to help in any way I can with those. We also are recording this one. So I actually have one of my interns. It's in the crowd recording. So all of this beautiful goodness is recorded. Maybe we'll get some fun clips from it. And yeah, we're happy to help record, during the week if you need help with that too.
And
all right. Well, listen, I got like 5 more minutes, and then
yes, let's fucking go. Tomorrow, you got a swing ready to drop. You were too pussy to drop it on the fucking podcast. At least give us a little bit of that wriggles into the diggles, unless you don't want to.
Drop it, Hugh.
I basically for the last like month and a half, I've been zoning in on like 5 different bios. 3 of them have gone. That was ITRM. I mean, ITRM under $1 was a no-brainer. Yeah, that was a no-brainer. ADMP was ADMP actually gave me like a super big headache.
Yeah, great call on that, by the way. I mean, that went up 60%. It halted a couple times.
Yeah, well, ADMP actually gave me like one of the biggest headaches because I was long.
Because you don't sell when you're green?
Yeah. Well, I was long at 75 cents. And then like some investigation into somebody's mother's sister's cousin came out, and the thing dropped like 50%. And I'm on vacation. I got like no service, and all of a sudden I see like I'm down like 400 grand. I'm like, what the fuck? Like like I'm on vacation. Like the markets can't give me a break. So then I ended up just kept adding because it was like it was 5:30 at night. There was no way that I was getting out of it, and I added and it ended up going from like in 10 days from 43 cents. I think it hit 147. So I scaled out some of my
I will
47.
never forget this moment because I texted you and said, "This is the moment where we say we should have whole accounted right here." And like 3 days later, it was up an absurd amount.
Dude,
Like, wow,
it's so funny. If you
that.
guys have trading friends, you will have so many. Like, you think about the dumbass shit you used to laugh with your high school friends about. Me and Tommy still laugh about us being like, "Oh yeah, I guess we were too cool to add Fubo at $9.30,
Yep.
even though we watched it go to $60 fucking dollars."
Yeah. So I mean, ADMP, the dip ended up being really nice, but there was like a moment where I was like I was like like my mom yelled at me for like 5 minutes on vacation because the explicit.
Bitch!
Yeah, I mean the explicit's coming out. I was like, "You motherfucker! Like fuck ADMP! Like the second I can get out, I can." And it ended up working out that I wasn't able to sell because of the low volume and the no liquidity because I just kept adding and then, like I said, basically tripled in 10 days. So like I said, I think bios are going to continue to be hot. I have a decent position on RGLS, and tomorrow, throughout the next week, I'll be adding more to it. I think the chart is ready to break out, and I think I have about half a position right now. I have about 1 million shares at what is it, like one. Let me see. I'll tell you exactly. I have 1 million shares at 126. So I'll be adding to it.
The flex.
Yeah. Well. So I'll be adding. Yeah. Like I have like half a position right now.
It's not a flex when your DJ friend has no shares.
Yeah. So I'll be adding.
And DJ Music's in a slump right now, cool.
Yeah. So I'll be adding to it. I kind of wanted to get the SPACs out of the way, so that I had a little bit more buying power. But now I'm ready to focus more on swings again. Like I said, I have about a half a position. The way that I'll treat it is, if I get a dip, then great, I'll add. If I don't get a dip, then that's fine.
Okay, that's fantastic, Q. Tommy, I've got a question for both of you. Obviously, Tommy, it's a little less for you as you was less in the market as the night goes on. However, so Hugh, you're a big swinger, naturally.
Wait, not 127, 125. Sorry.
Yes, amen. Let's say the market, like, what signs would you take from the market as a whole from you to start swinging? Like, obviously, it's looking like a hot swingers market. Is there any news that could come out for you for the overall market that would make you say, you know what, maybe the swingers market was good for a couple weeks, but it's not anymore?
Are you asking me that or Hugh?
I'm asking fucking the dumbass in the blue collared shirt.
Who's in the blue collared shirt? Oh, okay. What do you call it? Yeah, okay. So this is a multi-part question, but the biggest thing that I look at is that I think the Russell 2000 is poised for a breakout. So that all goes into my thesis on small caps. I think that it's poised for a breakout. But I guess if there was going to be like a few things, it would be like, okay, we talked about it on the podcast that we released today. We talked about how Clove traded as many shares yesterday as it did inside the prior 2 months. So if all of a sudden I see, it go from 500 million shares to, I don't even know, like 10 million shares, then that's a red flag to me. But all in all, it'll be like when I wake up in the morning, I just don't want to see, when you look at the small cap sectors and you're looking at, like everybody's favorites, like Fubo and stuff, if you just see, like, you can feel it. You can feel the downward pressure that small caps have had for the last 2.5 months. And it almost feels like now, that small cap pressure. I mean, that downward pressure has been lifted. Like you're seeing them, fly up, come down a little bit, dip a little bit, create support, and go for new highs of days. We saw it with weed today. Although they failed on that second or third breakout, we still saw that it wasn't that downward pressure of pop and then immediately just there was nothing that you could do. You could slap $2 million and it won't even move the stock. So like I feel like while we don't feel that downward pressure on small caps, there's no reason not to press it. I have 79%, 80% of my portfolio on the market right now on the street, and I'll continue to put more money on the street as long as we don't feel that downward pressure. I think that we're going to have a really hot summer, and that's based on the Russell 2000. I think the Russell 2000 is, again, poised for a breakout, and I think that small caps are just going to move sectors. I think it's going to be – I mean, we're already seeing the bios move. We're already seeing the bios have a really great run, and I think it's just going to move to like weed, EVs, and we're already seeing that. And I just think that's going to continue. And then I think during the fall, we're going to see another rotation out of growth. And that's fine. We get 3 hot months inside small caps, and I'm fine with going to large caps and scalping, Amazon. And I'm fine with that. Or scalping Tesla options. Like we can do that because a week like this week can make your quarter. So like I said, is that I guess to sum up is that as long as the Russell 2000 stays strong, and I feel that it's continuing to break out, and it kind of goes for that that 2750 to 3000 mark. As long as it's still on point for that, and we don't see like a massive fail, then I'm going to continue to press this 80% of 79, 80% of my portfolio on the market every night, and I'm just going to continue to ride it. But the second that we feel that downward pressure, and what I mean by that is like pop, fail, close red, excuse me. So something that has like FDA news. The second that it pops and it ends the day red on like an FDA approval, that's when we have to scale back and we have to say, okay, what's going on here? And then that's when I start to look at relative volume and volume overall and say, and then so if the volume's really low and I feel that downward pressure, then that's when I'll go from 80% of my portfolio on the market to, sometimes I'll go 40%, 30% on the market just to de-risk. That was a loaded answer. Sorry.
That's so sorry. Was that my question?
Sorry, I missed all that.
Get the fuck out of here.
All right. Well, it is like 8.
Yeah, I need new friends. If anybody wants to be my friend,
you do.
Hugh, I'll be your friend, man.
Yeah, thanks, bro.
Yeah.
I need new friends.
Me, Dan, and Gary say it all the time. You do need new friends, bro. You do.
Seriously. But yeah, I mean that was a loaded question, but in short, I think that small caps are here to stay. I don't think that this is like a dead cat bounce. I think that small caps are here to stay for 2
it wasn't. It wasn't a loaded question. It was a loaded answer.
Yeah, fine. Fuck it. Yeah, I gotta explain it.
No, you got excited.
But all right, guys.
All right, man.
I think,
fuck yeah.
Yeah, I think
9:15, boys.
Yeah. But hey, Wolf,
here. This is my job. Yeah. Anyways, guys, we've really appreciated it. Make sure you leave that 5-star review and that like, subscribe, and comment. We're here all week. You know where to find us on Wednesday and Friday on the Pennies Going in Raw podcast, and you can find Tommy Cooperman on Grindr any day of the fucking week. And
every fucking week, I'm looking for it.
But yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, well, thanks for having us, man.
Yeah, thanks for having us, bro.
Dude, such a pleasure. I loved how this was. Honestly, the vibe, immaculate. We got to do this again, hopefully within the next couple of weeks. I know you guys are busy, fellas, but I would love to get you back on. This is the largest one that I've hosted, actually. Most people in the space that I've hosted. So we got...
Yeah, we have a lot of clout.
Yeah, we hit like 800. So I'll chat with you guys, and we'll set another thing up. Really appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, hey, thanks, Wolf.
Thank you, bro.
No thank you to Tommy or Dan, but Gary, always a pleasure.
Tommy,
I'll
we'll
kill
do
you.
another episode of our podcast soon.
I'll kill you.
Dan's the
Alright, see you
freaking
guys.
life of spaces. All right, take care, boys. Everybody,
Later, dude.
to the listeners, thank you so much for popping in, spending your night with us. If you haven't yet, make sure that you're checking out those guys that were all speaking up there. Also, I am going to be, this was recorded. I'm going to do a little bit of editing on the recording, and then I'm going to try to get that recording up within the next 36 hours so everybody can listen to that goodness. If you're not already part of the Wolfpack, make sure to join. I'm going to be doing tons more spaces like that. I have plenty lined up. I have one tomorrow at noon with Young Investor. He's a really cool kid who's investing a bunch. And then I'm going to have a bunch next week with Jonah Lupton, hopefully those guys again, and a bunch of others. Take care, everybody. Enjoy your night.